Good morning, beautiful presences, souls, humans, everyone that is experiencing life in this beautiful or on this beautiful planet. Anyway, my name is Pandora, and today is March 6th, 2024. Oops, trying to fix my hair. I am not into beauty. I do like to be presentable, but my main goal on these platforms is to assist humanity in their evolution of recognizing what this existence is about, and also connecting to oneself, realizing the multi-dimensional aspect of oneself, our soul, our body, our ego, the mind, the ethereal body, everything that encompasses our experiences. So I am driving to work right now, and it's a long ride. I don't know how long I'll actually be recording, but I do want to share a recent experience. But just to backtrack a little bit, the last video I had posted 2 days ago or so, it was definitely about self-doubt and, just recognizing these things within ourselves, embracing them, consciously choosing, recognizing what we unconsciously chose, and especially being gentle with ourselves, being kind to ourselves in this process of awakening, of awareness, of whatever you want to call your experience in living this life. So I'm going to pause for a second, for a few minutes, so I can get myself together here. Thank you. Okay, I'm back. My hair was just bugging me too much, and between recording and driving and figuring out my hair situation, she has a mind of her own, and I just roll with it. Anyway, it is morning, and I had a very wonderful dream. I love to do dream interpretations. However, I do not typically follow what they have in books, because I am a firm believer in learning your own language. And what I mean by language is that every individual has their own interpretation of anything that comes into their life, has their own perception, has their own belief systems, the constructs, what you were raised in, and then what also as adults, if you are adults listening to this, but I do recommend children to listen to this too, teenagers, if you come across this because you are trying to figure things out, is the fact that we all have our own inner language of interpretation. So when you begin dream interpretations, if that's what you are drawn to, then I do agree that there are books and videos and anything that will assist you in understanding how to begin interpreting the messages through dreams, or what they're about, or even deciphering if they're, premonitions, messages that are very important to listen to, or if your brain is just processing information from whatever's unresolved. I would highly recommend, if you are curious about dream interpretations, especially if you are a dreamer, sleeping dreamer, we'll get into the daydreaming thing another time. But what I would highly recommend is starting to spend time to journal, write your dreams. Doesn't have to be that elaborate, because it can be, quite frankly, annoying sometimes to wake up in the morning and try to write down everything down. And you may want to do that, and that's perfectly fine. Didn't work for me. Find what works for you. One of the things that I did do is download a digital diary. That way it was easy for me to record right from my phone anything that really stuck out to me that I wanted to dig into for an interpretation of dreams. Now, with that being said, this is where learning your inner language, meaning your interpretation of things, what things mean to you, is important to do. And if you haven't begun that, then just start with your next dream or something that you've just recently experienced. Not everything means the same thing to everybody. Yes, there's archetypes, and yes, there may be a overall arching interpretation of specific words, and what they resemble to people, but then look deeper into that. Find the meaning to them through books or videos, and then dive deeper. Does the meanings that are sent out there, do they resonate with you? And resonance means alignment. Do you agree with the interpretation? If you do, then how? And why? And when? And with who? And what it is? This is the way to start developing and recognizing your language, your inner language of interpretation. A castle can mean this wonderful, massive, expansive field of security to some, but that same castle can mean and represent imprisonment to another. And other trigger words that will be out there will be like reptiles, aliens, spaceships, childhood, whatever that shows up in your dreams that means something to you. It's what they say, subconscious mind communicating to you, which is a whole nother area to discover. So I definitely recommend that. So just going to give a little bit of my history, just a tiny bit from the past couple of weeks. I had an Akashic channeled reading because I also do channeling, trans channel. The last channeling session that I had for someone, I actually had an owl and an eagle come into my body and speak through me, which I did experience that one time. I know ayahuasca experience, but that's for another time story. So my Akashic channeled reading from someone else that's a channeler, she revealed certain things to me that I've had a very difficult time understanding how it applied to me, and also what was going on energetically around me. Now, prior to this Akashic channeling reading at this mystical shop that I do attend classes at, my intention for connecting with this mystical shop, which happened in January, if I remember. Yes, January. And my intention was to find a mystical shop that will help me understand how to navigate discarnate spirits or energies, meaning disembodied, all different forms of formless, like ghost energies that were here and not here, and travel different dimensions, and if I interact with them, then how to handle this. And this is based off of, I used to be in real estate. I was a real estate agent, and I would go into different houses and showing houses to people, and some of the homes would tell me their names. Some of their homes would show me energies that was still currently vibrating in the home. And there was my last closing with a friend. She asked me to do a house cleansing. I've done house cleansings, but it's been more personal for my own houses, for other people that I've known. And when I did her house cleansing, I have a routine, which is, setting up grids, cleansing, and then I do my thing and connect with the energy in the home. And it was magical. It was such a beautiful experience. I got to see and feel so many different experiences in this home, which was built in the late 1800s. So as you can imagine, there was a lot. Now, with that being said, I shared this experience with a friend of mine that she's a healer. She does quite a few things. She's wonderful. And she told me that this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And I told her, I said, I know I want to do this as part of my spiritual practice. However, the thing that was holding me back was, how do I handle energies that are overpowering me in those situations? I didn't have reference points of how to handle these things. So then, not too long after that conversation with my friend, I Googled and searched in my area people who do house cleansings in that form. Not house cleaning as far as, those types of businesses, but spiritual cleansing. And I came across this mystical shop not too far from my area. And that was my intention for finding this place. And I connected with the owners of the business, and they're pleasant people. I do enjoy them. And then I ended up going through different sessions, drumming ceremony, had a cleansing with a Reiki session and energy cleansing, had also shamanic journeying with another member in the group, and doing a lot of things. And now I'm part of another class for witches, just because I knew I needed to also implement a routine, an organized, structured routine that I can kind of put all my learnings that I have accumulate over my many, many years of exposure to the mystical, to the spiritual realms. And I really was looking for something to give me structure, because I dabble in a lot of stuff. I am a jack of all trades and only master of myself, and still learning. So I'm never over. We're never done. And that's the beauty of it. This is what keeps us intrigued and alive, and just this wonderment of, you have curiosities and you want to seek and understand. I know I do. I'm a natural curiosity type of person, so I'm always dabbling in all different things that I'm curious about. Anyway, so in finding this shop with my intention to understand these energies that I was curious about encountering, and what I realized this morning from my dream helped me discover and connect what I have been feeling, because I've been feeling disoriented the past several weeks since my channeled Akashic Records channeling session. And I was feeling lost. I felt like I had this death inside of me. I felt like my world was turned upside up instead of upside down. It was a very bizarre experience. I saw the baby form of me after this experience. But the one thing that I noticed for sure, before having this Akashic Record channeling session, I was feeling very high vibration. I was very happy, very joyful, very, just everything was light. I was able to embrace difficult challenges and have a healthy understanding of the multiple aspects of difficult situations, people, places. It didn't matter. And I was able to see it and then, get into a positive aspect of it and transform it for myself. And after the Akashic Record reading, I felt like I lost that. However, it's not a bad thing, because after this morning, I realized that this is the funny part. My intention for coming to this mystical shop was understanding these energies that are denser in third and fourth dimension. If you don't understand what that means, that's plenty of places to Google that. I may, do a video on it, but once I speak of these videos, these videos are off the cuff whenever I'm inspired to share. And so if there's anything that you're curious about, by all means, do the research and then, send me an email that you can find on the YouTube channel or my Facebook. And my Facebook is, I'll have to put the link from my Facebook down on one of these channels. Anyway, so the beauty about awareness and the ability to work with whatever shows up in your life and knowing yourself, have your understanding of your base foundation, because this is how you can function, okay, through difficult situations. Yes, I did get lost in the past few weeks with my own identity. I felt like I couldn't get back to the person I was before the channeling. And now after this dream, I realized that I had set the intention to understand vibrational frequencies I was not familiar with. And now I understand that that's the realms I was working in. It's not that the people that shared this with me reside in that. I'm not speaking ill of these beautiful people who are holding a space for me to discover these other realms that I was not familiar with. And now I see that clearly this morning after my meditation session. I was able to recognize that in order for me, I'm by experience. I'm a type of person that loves to experience things, which is not always the best thing to do, especially if, it's very easy to get thrown off your center. But I recognize that this space of encountering this group of people at this mystical shop, they're holding the space for me to become aware of the energies that I was concerned with. And that's amazing to me. Now I don't feel fear of what I'm going to encounter as of yet. I don't know what's to come per se, what I will be encountering, but my basic foundation right now is that I set the intention to learn different dimensions, and I'm experiencing different dimensions now, and now I'm learning how to navigate through them. So the dream this morning I had, somebody was trying to hurt me, and I woke up at the point that a spear was going through this part of my body. And I woke up, I went over to my family room so I could start doing my meditation, and then I played back the dream, and instead of waking up, at that point that I was stabbed, before I was stabbed, I spoke from my soul consciousness to the other person's soul consciousness and talked to him about us being greater beings than our physical human experience. And when I shared love, and when I showed him how majestic, how incredible beings we are, instead of him stabbing me through the chest above my heart, below my collarbone, he ended up putting down the rebarb down and put his hands on his face and crying in this meditation visual replay. Which reminded me that I have discovered and worked with the ability to talk to consciousness. Everything in our human experience has a consciousness. If you don't understand this concept, don't worry. There's going to be more in my video sessions as to what this looks like. Because it is possible, if you open yourself up to it, if you calm your mind, if there's no judgment as to how that's supposed to look like. And I'll give you an example. Other than the example of the dream this morning. About a week and a half ago, I really wanted McDonald's fries. So I stopped on my way home from work, got McDonald's fries, and I had a couple of them. And then one in particular, I know that this sounds silly, but it's not when you dive into these realms. I actually had a conversation with the consciousness of the fry as I'm driving home and enjoying them. And what I did was thanked it. I appreciated it for its contribution to humanity. I did a tracking exercise as to finding out, tracing its lineage, and the French fry showed me the lineage of the potato and how it started and how it multiplied and what it became. I mean, it was wild. It was so cool. Anyway, so with that example, I'll go into that another time. But this morning in the dream, when I was able to speak to the consciousness of this perpetrator that was hurting me, it changed. There was a release. And that experience really helped me understand my technique for navigating through consciousnesses that are more dense. And density means that the experience of the consciousness is more compressed and becomes becomes solid within the body, where then in the human body, if energy can't flow, it gets stuck. Okay? And this is where pain in the body comes from. And this is a whole nother type of video as well, or you can research it on Google or very, books or others. You can go into mystical shops and see or connect, find people that can assist you with understanding these concepts. And I just wanted to say that this dream, this experience has helped me recognize why I had such self-doubt based on the video I just shared a couple of days ago, and where I am today with realizing my position, what I asked for, how it transpired, I was able to transform it, and now I'm feeling back into my centeredness of, higher vibrational living. I was so higher vibrational living that to be in other densities was not familiar to me. So I had to seriously experience them to know the difference from where I was at to where I was playing. And now I can go back to where I was at and still play in the denser forms, but not be consumed by it, thinking that I was losing myself. I was always there. I was just playing in a different game. Okay? It's the scenario as playing a sport or a board game. You could be in the sidelines and watch the game. That's an experience. Can be pleasant or can be difficult. But then the whole other experience is actually playing the game, being the team player, being the person experiencing whatever the sport or action is. And that gives you a whole different reference point from just observing to and witnessing to actually being. And that is powerful. Absolutely powerful. It's amazing. I love it so much. So with that being said, I wish you all well. I will post my email. That'll probably be the best way to get a hold of me if you need anything, or if you need, guidance on some of these topics. But if not, go ahead, reference, connect with yourself. Be present with yourself. Presence is key. Learn how you vibrate. And one of the ways that you can see where you are at in your life is by what is being reflected to you on your outside world. If there's a lot of negativity, then, discover that within yourself. What does that mean? Why is that there? Without judgment, curiosity, and asking lots of questions. It's going to help you really discover your language, your path, what you're curious about. Really learn about who you are. What do you like? What don't you like? Be honest with yourself. You don't have to share this with anybody. Journalize it, record it. There's so many ways to really begin to understand our meaning, spiritual force, having a human experience that really, it's magical. It is so magical to have this awareness. So with that being said, I wish you all well. Have a wonderful day. I love you all so much. And be kind and gentle and loving to yourself. That is so powerful in itself. Release the judgments. Release, yes, you may have some judgment, but understand what that is. Learn why that's there. And be okay with it. If you find there's a negative aspect about yourself, sit with it. Why is it there? How did it start? When did it begin? And do you need to still have an agreement with it? That's for a whole nother video. Anyway, have a wonderful day. Many blessings to all of you. Mwah.